Ladies, listen carefully. You've been talking to this guy, everything feels amazing, and suddenly he pulls back. The texts slow down, the energy shifts, he's not calling as much. And now your mind is racing with questions. Is he losing interest? Did I do something wrong? Is he seeing someone else? But here's the truth that most women don't realize. When a man starts falling deeply for you, he often does the opposite of what you expect. Instead of chasing harder, he pauses. Instead of texting more, he pulls back. And this isn't rejection. It's actually one of the strongest signs that his feelings are growing. Why? Because when emotions get intense, men enter what I call the emotional processing zone. He needs space to figure out how he feels, what he wants, and whether he can handle the depth of this connection. And if you panic, chase, or overreact right now, you could unintentionally push him away. But if you understand his psychology, you can navigate this phase with confidence and make him fall even harder for you. In this video, we're breaking down the exact signs he's falling for you, how to decode his silence, and the simple shifts you can make to keep his attraction growing. By the end, you'll never doubt his feelings again. So if you've been wondering why he's acting distant, stay with me. The truth will surprise you. You've probably noticed something strange when a guy starts catching real feelings. Things seem to be going perfectly. He's attentive, he's affectionate, he's making plans with you. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, he changes. He doesn't text as often. His calls slow down. The good morning messages stop. You start to feel the shift, and immediately panic sets in. You ask yourself, what did I do wrong? But here's the shocking truth most women don't know. His distance is often not about losing interest at all. In many cases, it's the exact opposite. He's falling for you. See, men process emotions very differently from women. While many women feel safer when they're getting closer to someone, most men instinctively pull back to think. And it's not because they don't care. It's because caring deeply scares them. Think about it from his perspective. Falling for someone means vulnerability. It means opening up. It means giving someone the power to hurt you. And for many men, that's unfamiliar territory. When his emotions start growing faster than he expected, his mind goes into self-protection mode. He needs time to make sense of these feelings, to figure out if he's ready to let you in completely. And here's where so many women accidentally make a critical mistake. When he takes that step back, they panic. They start questioning him. They demand reassurance. They overtext, overcall, and try to fix something that isn't broken. And ironically, this pushes him even further away. What you need to understand is this: his pulling away is often temporary. In fact, for a lot of men, this short period of emotional distance is the turning point that leads them to commit even deeper. When you stay calm, confident, and secure in yourself, it sends him one powerful message: I trust you. I trust this connection. I trust us. When a man feels that, he comes back, not out of obligation, but because he chooses you. He realizes that what he feels is real, and that you're not going anywhere just because he needed a moment to breathe. So the next time he pulls back, instead of spiraling, remember this: it's not rejection, it's reflection. Give him the emotional space he needs, and you'll often see him return even more invested, more present, and more in love than before. Because when a man is truly falling for you, sometimes he has to step away to realize he can't imagine life without you. When a man suddenly goes quiet, it can feel like the loudest thing in the world. The missed calls, the unread texts, the space between his words that used to be filled with constant affection. And instantly, your mind jumps to the worst conclusion: he's losing interest. But here's the twist: his silence isn't always a rejection. More often than not, his silence is processing. See, men are taught from an early age to solve problems internally. Unlike most women, who find comfort in talking things through, many men instinctively retreat into their own heads when they feel overwhelmed, especially by emotions they didn't see coming. And falling for you, that's one of the most overwhelming emotions he'll ever face. Inside, his mind is racing. Why am I feeling this way? Can I trust these emotions? Am I ready for this kind of connection? For many men, deep emotional attraction flips a switch they weren't prepared for. And instead of sharing everything they're feeling, they pause. They pull back. They go quiet, not because they don't care, but because they care so much that they need to make sense of it first. But here's where most relationships derail. When he gets quiet, many women respond with fear. They double text. They chase. They question him. They push for answers he doesn't have yet. And while it comes from a place of love, it often drives him even further into his shell. Here's the truth. When a man goes silent, it's rarely about you. It's about him navigating his own emotional landscape. The healthiest thing you can do in this moment is trust the connection instead of testing it. By giving him emotional space, without pulling away yourself, you allow him to process those feelings at his own pace. And what happens when he does? He returns. And when he comes back, he's not coming back confused. He's coming back clearer, more committed, and more invested than before. His silence is not the end of the story. It's the pause before the turning point. It's the space where he chooses whether to lean in or walk away. And if you allow him that space without pressure, you'll often find that he chooses you. Sometimes, the quiet isn't distance. Sometimes, the quiet is where love is quietly growing stronger. Here's the thing about men falling in love. They rarely announce it. Most won't come out and say, "Hey, I'm falling for you." Instead, they reveal it in small, almost unnoticeable ways, if you know what to look for. One of the biggest signs? He starts paying attention to the smallest details about you. It could be the way you take your coffee, the random childhood story you told once, or that song you casually mentioned liking weeks ago. Suddenly, he remembers, not because he's trying, but because his mind has started prioritizing you. When a man's feelings grow, he naturally tunes into what matters to you, because you matter to him. Another subtle clue is his nervous energy around you. You might notice him stumbling over his words, fidgeting with his hands, or second-guessing his jokes. That's not indifference, that's vulnerability. Men act more careful when they realize your opinion of them actually matters. His nerves are his emotions slipping through the cracks. You'll also notice he makes quiet sacrifices without pointing them out. Maybe he skips an outing with friends to spend time with you, rearranges his schedule just to see you, or goes out of his way to do something small he knows will make you smile. He doesn't announce it or expect praise. He just does it because making you happy starts becoming part of his happiness. Another sign, and this one's powerful, is he subtly protects you. Whether it's walking on the side of the street closer to traffic, checking if you got home safely, or defending you in conversations, these little protective instincts are hardwired into men when their emotions run deep. When he starts caring about your safety and comfort, it's rarely casual, it's emotional. And perhaps the most telling sign, he shows you pieces of his real, unfiltered self. He starts opening up about his fears, his past, his dreams, things he doesn't share with everyone. That's because falling for someone isn't just about attraction, it's about trust. When a man begins letting you into his inner world, it's one of the clearest signals his feelings are becoming serious. These signs may seem subtle, but together they paint a very clear picture. When a man is falling for you, his actions whisper the words he hasn't yet said. If you pay attention, you'll see his heart long before he admits it out loud. Sometimes words don't tell the full story, but the body always does. A man can say he's fine. He can act like he's casual, but his subconscious movements reveal what his heart is trying to hide. If you learn to read these silent signals, you'll know exactly how he feels, long before he admits it. One of the biggest giveaways is eye contact. When a man is falling for you, his gaze lingers just a little longer than normal. He isn't just looking at you, he's studying you. You'll catch him watching you, when he thinks you're not noticing, only for him to glance away quickly when your eyes meet. That stolen glance, it's his heart peeking out before his words can catch up. Another subtle cue is his posture, when he's around you. If he leans in while you're talking, points his chest toward you, or subtly mirrors your movements, his body is showing alignment. It's a subconscious way of saying, I want to be close to you. I'm connected to you. On the flip side, if he crosses his arms, angles his feet away, or avoids leaning in, that often signals distance or uncertainty. Pay attention to how he touches you without making it obvious. Light, casual touches, like brushing something off your shoulder, touching your hand when he laughs, or placing his hand on your back when you walk through a doorway, are rarely accidental. When men fall, they seek closeness, even in the smallest gestures. You'll also notice nervous movements. When his feelings run deep, he may fidget with his keys, adjust his shirt, or run his fingers through his hair more than usual. That restlessness isn't boredom, it's his emotions showing up physically. His body is reacting to the pressure of wanting to impress you, and the fear of messing it up. And here's a powerful sign most women miss. He unconsciously mirrors your emotions. If you smile, he smiles. If you lean in, he leans in. If you get excited telling a story, his energy rises too. Mirroring is the body's natural way of building connection. And when a man does this, it means he's deeply attuned to you. Reading his body language is like hearing the quiet part of his heart. When his words are careful but his movements are unguarded, that's where the truth lives. Sometimes love isn't spoken. It's shown in a glance, a touch, a lean, a pause. If you learn to listen to the unspoken, you'll see his feelings long before he ever says them. One moment he's texting you constantly, calling you late at night, making plans to see you. And then just when you start to believe things are moving forward, he suddenly becomes distant. The sweet messages stop, his energy shifts, and you're left wondering, did I do something wrong? Here's the truth. When a man sends mixed signals, it doesn't always mean he's confused about you. More often, he's confused about himself. Men experience a natural inner conflict when deep emotions start to surface. On one side, he feels this undeniable pull toward you, the excitement, the connection, the spark. On the other, his brain kicks in with hesitation. Am I ready for this? What if I get hurt? What if she doesn't feel the same? This push and pull between desire and fear creates a wave of inconsistency. Sometimes his actions don't match his intentions because he hasn't fully processed his feelings yet. He may act fully present when he's with you, but when he's alone, his doubts creep in. That's when he slows down his texts, avoids making plans, or goes quiet for a while, not because he wants to hurt you, but because his emotions are moving faster than his ability to understand them. The biggest mistake many women make in this phase is reacting to the inconsistency. They chase harder, demand clarity, or try to fix his silence. But here's the paradox. The more pressure you put on him when he's sorting through his emotions, the more likely he is to retreat even further. So what should you do instead? You mirror balance. If he pulls back, you don't panic, you breathe, you maintain your own energy, your own rhythm, and your own confidence. You show him that while you care, you're not dependent on his constant reassurance. Men are drawn to emotional stability, especially when their feelings are in chaos. By remaining calm and consistent, you create a safe space for him to sort out his thoughts without fear of being judged or rushed. And when he feels that security, he naturally gravitates back toward you, not out of guilt, but out of choice. Mixed signals are rarely a sign of disinterest. Most of the time, they're a sign he's fighting between his heart and his head. And when you stay patient and grounded, you give him the clarity to choose with certainty. And more often than not, he chooses you. When a man starts acting distant, your first instinct might be to chase him, to call more, text more, and demand answers. It's a natural reaction. Your heart wants reassurance. But here's the thing. The moment you start over-pursuing when he's pulling away, you accidentally create more distance instead of closing the gap. The first step is simple but powerful. Don't panic. Men often withdraw, not because they've stopped caring, but because they need space to process emotions, stress, or personal thoughts. If you meet his silence with anxiety, over-explaining, or pressure, it feeds the very thing that's making him retreat. Instead, give him room without disappearing yourself. Keep living your life. Stay consistent, warm, and present, but without chasing. The second step is to shift the energy back to yourself. This doesn't mean playing games or pretending you don't care. It means genuinely focusing on your own happiness, routines, and passions. When a man sees that you're grounded and secure, it sends a powerful message: I value myself. I'm not defined by your temporary distance. This quiet confidence draws him back far more effectively than pleading ever could. Next, when he does reach out, and in most cases he will, respond calmly, not emotionally. Welcome the connection without resentment or accusations. Instead of saying, "Why have you been ignoring me?" try something soft and inviting like, "Hey, it's good to hear from you." This creates a safe emotional space where he feels comfortable coming closer instead of defensive. It's also important to watch his actions, not just his words. Some men pull away because they're stressed or overwhelmed, but others may be unsure about what they want. If his distance becomes a pattern rather than a phase, that's when you calmly set healthy boundaries. You're not punishing him, you're simply protecting your emotional energy while giving him space to step up. Here's the truth. When a man acts distant, he's usually testing the emotional environment, consciously or not. If he senses panic, pressure, or desperation, he retreats further. But if he feels calm acceptance, confidence, and emotional safety, he naturally gravitates back toward you. Sometimes the best thing you can do isn't to pull him closer, but to hold your center and let him return on his own. Because when he chooses to come back, not out of guilt or fear, but from genuine desire, that's when real connection deepens. Falling in love is beautiful, but keeping that spark alive long term. That's where most relationships either grow deeper or slowly fade away. The truth is, attraction isn't something you lock in once you have it. It's something you nurture. And if you understand how men think and connect emotionally, you can create a bond that stays exciting, passionate, and secure for years to come. The first thing you need to understand is this. Men stay invested in relationships where they continue to feel inspired and emotionally alive. That doesn't mean you need to entertain him or constantly do something dramatic. It means keeping a sense of mystery, individuality, and energy in the relationship. When you maintain your own passions, friendships, and goals, you remind him why he was drawn to you in the first place. Your fullness as a person, not just your role as his partner. Another key factor, emotional safety. A man stays where he feels he can be his authentic self, where he's accepted, understood, and supported, even in his most vulnerable moments. That doesn't mean agreeing with everything he says or avoiding conflict. It means creating an environment where he feels heard instead of judged, where he can share his fears and dreams without worrying about being criticized. That level of acceptance builds trust, and trust is what keeps relationships strong long after the initial spark fades. At the same time, it's important to keep a playful dynamic alive. Over time, routines can make relationships feel heavy, predictable, and even stagnant. But little bursts of novelty, surprises, spontaneous plans, teasing, and laughter reignite chemistry. Playfulness signals that being with you isn't just safe, it's fun. And fun is magnetic. Here's something many people overlook. Give him the gift of freedom. Men are more drawn to relationships where they feel trusted rather than controlled. When you give him space to pursue his passions, spend time with friends, and enjoy his individuality, he actually bonds with you more deeply. Why? Because he sees you as a partner, not a prison. The less you restrict him, the more he chooses you, freely and wholeheartedly. Lastly, never underestimate the power of consistent emotional connection. Even after months or years together, keep communicating, not just about schedules and responsibilities, but about feelings, dreams, and experiences. Ask deeper questions, share your own thoughts, create moments of genuine intimacy, where you're not just living together, but growing together. The secret isn't about working harder to keep him interested. It's about being intentional in maintaining the qualities that sparked his attraction. Your confidence, your energy, your emotional depth, while continuing to evolve as individuals and as a couple. A man doesn't stay because you demand it. He stays because being with you feels effortless, exciting, and safe all at once. That combination, passion, playfulness, trust, and emotional connection, is what turns a growing attraction into a lasting love story. And when you understand how to nurture these things, you'll never have to wonder whether he's losing interest, because he'll be too busy falling for you over and over again. If you've made it this far, take a deep breath, because you now understand something most people never figure out. When a man pulls back, grows quiet, or sends mixed signals, it doesn't always mean he's losing interest. In many cases, it's the exact opposite. It's the beginning of something deeper. Throughout this video, we've uncovered the subtle signs, the psychology behind his silence, and the emotional patterns men go through when they're falling in love. And now, here's the biggest takeaway. His actions aren't random. They're not meaningless. They're part of a process. One where he's learning how to open his heart, let his guard down, and allow you in. But here's the part only the strongest women understand. You don't have to control that process. You don't have to chase, overthink, or force anything. The real power comes from holding your center, knowing your worth, staying grounded, and giving him the space to come toward you naturally. When you focus on your own happiness, confidence, and emotional balance, you become magnetic without even trying. Now ask yourself this. Do you want a relationship where you constantly have to question his feelings? Or do you want one where his actions consistently show you where you stand? Because when you truly understand male psychology, you'll stop doubting, stop chasing, and start creating connections where love flows naturally, without games, without guessing, without fear. If you've been feeling confused, replay this video and let the signs sink in. The next time he goes quiet or pulls back, you'll know exactly what's happening. And more importantly, you'll know how to respond without losing your power. That's the key to building not just attraction, but emotional security and long-term intimacy. And if this video helped you, don't keep it to yourself. Someone else out there is overthinking, panicking, and questioning their worth right now. Share this with them, because understanding this could change everything. Before you go, make sure you hit that like button. If you found value here, subscribe so you don't miss the next video, and drop a comment below telling me which sign resonated with you the most. I read every single one, and I love hearing your stories. Remember this, sometimes his silence isn't rejection, it's reflection. And sometimes his distance isn't the end, it's the space where love quietly grows stronger. Trust the process, and trust yourself.